Okay. Hi all. I'm going to share my screen. Just a minute. So in yesterday's session, we have seen about the list and dictionary, right? Let me go to the collab. Right. This is the one which we have seen in yesterday's session with respect to the dictionary. How to iterate the dictionary? What is get update items, and what are all the pre-defined methods which we can use in the dictionary, right? And also we have tried to insert some new items in the dictionary and error raised. So because I have given the syntax in a wrong manner, I have given the colon like this. So the syntax is it should be comes with a comma. Okay, so you can see here, this is the syntax. So on doing this, we can able to enter the new item inside the existing dictionary. Okay, so keys, values, and everything we have already seen in yesterday's session itself, right? So, okay, in today's session, what we are going to see is the remaining one more topic under the mutable data type is set, right? So we are going to see set. Okay, set is nothing but it is an unordered collection of items. Okay, and you can see every items in the set is an unique. It will take only the unique items. If I give non-unique items, repeated items, then it will ignore that repeated items, and it will keep the set as a unique. Okay, so similar kind of mathematical operations like union, intersection, difference, all these things which we can able to do it using set. Let us see how to do that. Okay. So for example, so set can be defined in my set. So just I'm declaring one variable, and inside the curly braces, dictionary also we have given inside the curly braces, right? You can see here, dictionary also we have given inside the curly braces. But the difference is the dictionary which contains the key value pair. But in set, okay, but in set we use only the literals like integer, float, or any other strings like that we can able to use it with respect to the set. For example, if I'm giving 1, 2, 3, 4, again I'm giving 2. So 2 is getting repeated. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this set. Okay. Now see what's going to happen. You can see here automatically it is taking the unique items and it eliminate the repeated items like a 2 got repeated 3 times, so it will take the first occurrence of 2 and it eliminate the all the other occurrence. So this is the speciality of the set. Okay, so automatically it eliminates the duplicate and it will print it. Okay, now what we are going to see is we are going to see the union operation. So union operation we have already, you people already known during your mathematical operations, right? While doing the mathematical operations, you have already known about this. Union is nothing but if I'm going to join the two things to set which contain a number of elements, both will both will combine together to form a union, right? and intersection is nothing but the common element will come, right? And the difference is if a minus b like that, the a elements in the a is present but not in b like that. So hope you guys remember about the Cartesian product and everything, right? So that is the same operation we are going to do it in the set. Okay. So for example, S1 is the first set. Okay. So in this 1, 2, 3, C, anything. Okay. Or any word like open or like that. This is my first set. And consider this is my second set. 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. The set goes on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the union operation of these two sets. Okay, how to do that? Which means S1, this pipe symbol. Okay, this pipe symbol, S2. Okay, that's it. So this pipe symbol represents the union operation. Okay, so you can see here 1, 2, 3, and it joins the 4 and 5 in the middle, and then C open mental, right? So the elements which are getting repeated like the 2 and 3 or it in the union operation, what it will do is if the element got repeated in the two set 2 and 3. So the first occurrence, it will take the first occurrence and it will concatenate element with the first one. So that is called as a union operation. You people already done all these things in the maths, right? In 12th maths itself, you people have already done on, and also in college, you very well known about this union, what is being the union, intersection, difference, and everything, right? The same thing the set is doing. Okay. So in order to do the union, we use this pipe symbol. Okay. And next thing is intersection. So intersection is nothing but we can able to do. You can see here already we are having set 1 and 2, right? So using AND operator. Okay. S1 and S1 and S2. This is the intersection operation. So intersection is nothing but it will take the common element. It will take the common element, right? Um, in order to tell this, take some people already known about these things, right? So consider this as an intersection, right? So during intersection, this part alone, right? You can see here, this center part alone, right? We'll take this center part alone, okay? What happened? Hope you guys remember all these things which you have seen in your school days, right? That's why it's overlapping. If this is the A, this is A, right? If this is A, consider this is A, and this one is B, okay? And this one is B. Now we are having 1, 2, 3, all the elements inside this A. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And here we are having, 3, 4, 5. In the center part, we will get what we will get is um, this is this center part, right? So in center part, we will get while doing the intersection, we will get 3 and 4, right? Hope you guys remember all these things. So similarly for the union, it will combine together. Okay. So this is called as intersection. So it will take this 2 and 3 alone. Okay, it will take this 2 and 3 because these two are the common things. So this is called as intersection. In order to do the intersection, we are using AND operator. Okay, AND operator we are using. So we can use set dot intersection also. I think. Okay, let me try. I don't know about the syntax. Intersection, yes, set of intersection. Yes, too. We can use like this also. I think. Let me check. Yes. So either you can use and, okay, or intersection is the function which we can use. Okay. Using this intersection function, we can able to intersect. If consider if we are having more than one set like S3, okay, S3 equal to, again I'm giving 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. So now comma S3 like this. If I am giving like this, then it will do the intersection for S1, S2 and S3. So in all the three set, you can see here in all the three set 1, 2, 3, see open mentor. Here 2, 3, 4, 5 and here 3, 4, 5, 6. So by comparing all the three set, what are all the common items we are having? 3 is the common item we are having. So it will take the 3 as an output. So it will give 3 as an output by doing the intersection for 3 set. Okay. So this is how we can able to use all this union, intersection, and next one is the difference. So with respect to the difference, what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'm going to use S1 minus S2. Okay. So if I give like this, you can see here what are all the elements. Okay, what are all the elements present in S1 but not in. Okay, please try to understand the difference, but not in S2. Okay, so we are having 2 and 3 as a common element in both S1 and S2. So it will eliminate and gives the remaining element present in S1. Okay, remaining element present in the S1. This is the difference. Okay, this is the so this is the difference. In order to do this difference for the set, we are using this minus operator. Okay, so using this and union, intersection, difference, we can able to perform all the kind of the mathematical operations like union, intersection, difference. We can able to do it using the set. Okay, so for union we have used what we have used. We have used the pipe symbol, and here and symbol, and here minus, right? So looks very simple, right? Okay, we now what we are going to do is we are going for moving forward with the flow control. Okay, so the flow control, with respect to this flow control operation, um, we are using if else, for, and nested if else and for loops. Okay, so if and if else. What is mean by this if and if else is if bracket condition. So see here, if I am using if bracket some condition is nothing but, for example, if some variable is greater than 20, so this is one condition, right? Not equal to, if some variable is not equal to, okay. So by using this kind of comparison operator, we can able to achieve the conditions, okay. So if this condition is true, okay, if this particular condition is true, then the below if block will execute, okay. Otherwise it will move on to the next code, okay. So similarly with the if else condition, okay. So if this particular condition is true, then it will execute the below block. Otherwise, for the otherwise option, we are using this else part. If this condition is not true, then you need to execute this part, this else part. Okay, that is the condition which we are going to give. Okay, so please try to understand, if this condition is true, then it will execute this block. Otherwise, then it will execute the else block if this condition is false. So this is with respect to the if and if else. So what is mean by nested if else means, if this condition, I'm going to give one condition here. If this condition is true, then it will execute this block and it will move forward to the next block. Okay, nested means an if condition, an if block, which has been we are giving inside the another if. Okay, so consider this as a parent if and this is a child if. Okay, so likewise you can able to give any number of if block inside the another if block. Okay, so with respect to Python, all the indentation should be in a perfect manner, otherwise it will raise an error. If you are giving the if block, the first if block here, then you need to keep one indentation. Okay, you need to keep one tab space or one space. After that only you need to give this block, and this block code should be in the equal indentation with this if condition. And after that, after one indentation, after one tab space or some bar space, then the code to execute for the second if block should be given here. And the indentation of this particular if block, you can see here indentation of this particular if block and this else should be in the equal. Okay, should be equal. Similarly, if you are going to give else condition for this if block, then you need to give it in the same line. Okay, same indentation for the else block. Okay, so this is the condition. If the indentation is not perfect in Python, then it will raise an error. It's not like other programming language. So you have to be very careful. So similarly for the for loop, there are two kinds of for loop we are using. One is with the range and another is with the sequence. With respect to the sequence, we can able to use either here in the sequence, we can either use the list or tuple or a string or anything. Okay, so we can able to iterate it using this item. This item is nothing but it is a variable name you choose to represent each element or inside the sequence. We will iterate each and every element inside this sequence. The sequence might be whether it is list or tuple or string or anything. Using this in keyword. In is a keyword. Okay. And with respect to this range, okay. Similarly, this I is nothing but I or any variable. Okay, any variable or item or any variable. You can give, it's up to you. This particular variable is up to you. I or j or x or anything, which is used to similarly for here also. This item is nothing but any variable we can able to give. Okay. So using the same in, we are using the range. So range, it should be with the parameter start, stop, and step. Okay, start is nothing but the starting point of the range, and the ending point of the range, and step is nothing but, um, for example, if I am giving starting point as 1 and ending point as 10 and step is 2. Okay, so it will execute like a 1, 1, 3, 5, like that. It will execute. If I give step as an 2. Okay, so if you are not giving the starting point, then by default it will take it as an 0. Okay, the starting point. So this is about the syntax for the for loop and nested if and if. So now what we are going to do is we will see some simple programs. Okay, some simple programs with respect to this for loop, while loop, and if loop, and everything. Okay. So simple program. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the program to calculate sum of all numbers in list. So how can we declare the list? We have already seen, right? How can we declare a list? For example, num is a variable equal to, if I give anything inside the square bracket, then it will become a list. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or any numbers you can able to give. So it can be 10, 20, 30, anything. Okay, 10, 20, 3, 4, 5, anything. Okay, so this num becomes a list now. So which contain how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements inside the list. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, in order to calculate the sum of and sum of all the numbers in the list, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to initiate one variable with the 0. Okay, I'm going to initiate one variable with the 0. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print. Okay, excuse. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this using the for loop. Okay,
Screen
for,
share all.
oh, okay, sorry. Oh, instead of pausing the video, I stopped the screen share. Okay, okay, sorry. So now what we are going to do is, so using for loop, okay, I'm going to iterate this. So what I'm going to do is using the for loop, let me keep this as an n. N is a variable which is going to iterate, my num. Okay, num list. So we have already seen here, you can see here the syntax of the for loop. I have used the sequence. What is the sequence here? The sequence which I am using is the list. Okay, the list name is num. Okay, so I'm going to iterate how this for loop works. Okay, let me tell you one simple example and I will come there. You can see here. So this is the list. Okay, this is the list which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4. So this for loop will take, okay, this X is the list which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, all the elements. The number which I am giving here. So in C and C++ and all the other languages and all, you use for I is equal to 0. I is less than 10, right? I plus plus, like that you will use, right? So what this for loop will do? This for loop will it will start the starting point of the for loop is 0, or you can mention it as a 2, like that. Any initialization you can able to give it, right? This is the usual for loop which we have used in all the other languages like a C and C++, right? You people aware about this, and this is the condition which I am giving, right? Until this condition it should execute, and for each and every loop it will execute, it will increment, right? So here you can able to give minus minus also, or I plus 2 also. So any kind of increment you can able to give. Okay, so in Python also the same thing we are using, but if I am giving like a I in X for any kind of sequence like this, automatically, okay, automatically what it will do is it will initialize it. The I will get initialized to the first element, okay, in the position of 0, and it will iterate. By default it will take it as an I plus plus. I plus plus is nothing but 1 by 1 increment by default. Okay, 1, 2, 3, like that it will iterate, right? So X is nothing but my list, right? This condition, with respect to this condition, what it will do is it will iterate until the end of the loop. Okay, until the end of the list, it will iterate. So this is the meaning of this for loop. Okay, so now I'm just printing it. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 for each iteration. This is the first iteration, this is the second iteration. Okay, let me print it. I print in this manner. Okay, so you can see here iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, 4. So like that for each and every iteration. Okay, each and every iteration, it is printing all the elements one by one in the list from starting from 1 to 5. So this is how the for loop will execute in Python. Okay, so here we have compared the traditional for loop with the Python for loop. The same thing. Okay, so here what we are going to do is, in order to do the sum of all numbers in the list, okay, in order to get the sum get the sum of all numbers in the list, what we are going to do is, here I have declared it as an sum is 0, right? Sum as 0, initialized the sum variable as 0. Now what I'm going to do is, now sum is equal to, okay, sum is equal to sum plus, okay, sum plus this n. So what is in the n? Initially my n consists of 10, right? So initially during the first iteration, n consists of 10, right? Are you clear in this? The first number is 10. So during the first iteration, what it will do, sum is nothing but a 0, right? It will add 0 plus 10. Okay. So this 10 will get stored in sum. Now the current value of the sum is equal to 10, right? Again, it will, for the second iteration, it will take the second number. We have already what is inside the sum variable, we have already kept stored this 10 in the sum. Now what it will do, again this sum plus n is nothing but it will take the n as a 20 and it will add it with the 20. So 30 will get stored in sum. Okay, so what is the current value of sum here? So sum equal to 30. Now sum equal to 30. Okay, so again what it will do, it will take the next number and it will add it with the sum. The current value of sum is 30 and it will add it with 3. Now it will become 33. And it goes on until 5, until end of the list, it will add like this. Okay, and finally, if I print, so in print, you can notice here inside the print statement, inside the double quotes, I'm just printing sum of list, right? After the double quotes, I'm giving comma as a separator, and I'm giving sum. Okay, and I'm giving the variable as sum. So what are all the things which we have given inside this double quotes? It will print as it is. If I'm giving it after the comma without double quotes, then it will print the value of that particular variable. So this is for the print. Okay, this is for the print statement. So you can see here for each and every iteration, it is printing. So I don't want to print for each and every iteration. I have given this print statement inside the for loop. So while doing the sum for all the iteration, for 10 it will print, for 20 it will print, for 33 it will print, 37. So for all the iteration it is printing inside the for loop. So I don't want that. What I'm doing, I'm just giving this indentation equal to this for loop. So after completing all this for loop, it should print. Okay. So now you can see it got printed only one time. Okay. If you want to print anything for each and every iteration, you have to print it inside the for loop. Otherwise, you can print it outside the for loop. Please be very careful with the indentation. Okay. So you can see here, for after using for loop, if I give like this, if I give the same indentation, if I give this block, which should come inside the for loop as the same indentation for the for loop, what it will happen? It will raise an error. You can see expected an indented block. So like a C or C++ or Java, anything or any other language we are using in order to represent something inside the block, we use, you can see, if we use a for loop like this, in order to represent something inside the block, we use this curly braces, right? So with respect to Python, there are no curly braces. Okay, so only the indentation represents the things inside the sum block, whether it is a for loop or while loop or if loop or anything. If I want to represent this as an block inside the for loop, then you have to leave the indentation, leave the space. Okay, and also for the for loop, you have to give this colon. For loop, if loop, or all the other things, you have to give the colon. So this is for the for loop. Okay. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to calculate the largest of numbers in the list. Okay. So the largest of number in the list, how can we calculate? Hmm. So the largest number, similarly, I'm taking the same. Okay. I'm taking the same list. Okay. I'm just taking the same list. So I'm just initializing. I'm just initializing the number in the list. Okay. So I'm just initializing the number in the list as a 0. Okay. So using for loop for I in within the num. Okay. I'm just iterating until the end of the num list. what I'm going to do is if I'm checking the condition. Okay, so I'm just checking the condition. If my number, okay, if my particular number which is getting iterated inside the num list, okay, if it is larger, okay, if it is larger, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign that particular number to the large. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is if this particular number is, if I is greater than, okay, if I is greater than, what I'm going to do is if I is greater than this particular n, okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save large equal to this number. Okay, so please be careful. What I did is here I have stored this I. Okay, for each and every iteration it will get one number from the num, right? So so it will get one number from the list. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare. Okay, I'm going to compare whether this number which I got, okay, which I got is greater, okay, which is, sorry, here large with them. So I'm comparing this large, okay, I'm just comparing this large with I. What is inside I? So for the initial iteration 10 is inside I and n is nothing but the initial number. Okay, so sorry, n. Okay, so the initial number n, num of 0 is nothing but in the 0th position what it has 10. So I'm comparing the 10 with the 10. Of course it is not greater, then it will move on to the next iteration. Okay, so I'm just comparing it with the second number. What is inside the large? The first number. Num of 0 consists of the first number, right? So inside the num, what it has, the inside the during the second iteration, the I will contain 20. Now I'm comparing it with 10. Okay, of course 10 is greater than, sorry, 20 is greater than 10. Now what I'm doing, I'm just storing this 20 here. 20, I'm just storing this 20, okay, inside large. What is the current value of large now? It becomes 20. And again, I'm during the next iteration, it will take 3. Similarly, it will iterate 3 and check whether it is greater than 20. No, it is not greater than 20. So it goes for the next iteration. Okay, similarly the 4 it will comes and it will check what is inside the large now. So whether this number is greater than 20, no, again it will goes for 5. So similarly the iteration goes on like this. So for each and every iteration it will check with the current number. If the number is greater, then it will store it inside the large. Okay, so finally inside the large we will get the largest number among the list. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print largest, large. So finally, what will happen? The largest number gets stored in the large variable. Okay. So now you can see it will compare all the numbers, all the given numbers in the list, and it will print the largest among the all the numbers. So while considering this if block, okay, so for each and every iteration, I need to compare it. Okay, I need to compare whether this particular I is greater than large or not. If this condition is true, okay, if this condition is true, then if block will execute this. Okay, then if will execute this one. Okay, otherwise it will break the loop and it will iterate to the next one. It will goes for the next one. Similarly, the iteration goes on until the end of the loop. So in this example, we have seen both the for and if. Hope you guys understood this. Okay, so with respect to the simple if, okay, with respect to the simple if, we can see here. This is a program which we did 2 days before, right? So I have assigned A to 4 to A and B consist of 5. So I'm just comparing these two variables. If A is greater than B, then print A is greater. Otherwise, print B is greater, like that. Like that, we have already seen. What it means is, inside the if block, I have given one condition. Okay, A is greater than B. If this condition is true, then this if block will execute this piece of code. What are all the things you have given under the if block, this piece of code will execute. If this condition is false, okay, if this condition is false, then it will execute the else part. Okay, so this is the simple example for if else. Hope you guys understood this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some simple example for while loop. Okay. So with respect to the while loop, the syntax is while some condition. Okay. So you have to initialize the variable and while some condition, and here comes the block of code. Okay, and then you can block of code to execute, and then here you can use some increment or decrement. So this is the general syntax for the while loop. Okay, so what we are going to do is just I will show you how to execute this while loop. Okay, how to use this while loop with a simple example. So consider if count is equal to 1. For example, now I'm going to do the same thing. You can see here, I'm going to do the same thing which we have did in the for loop, right? Which we have did in the for loop. That is that for loop. Yeah, here is the for loop. I'm just going to do the same thing using the while loop. Okay. You can see here, I'm going to iterate it from 1 to 5 using the while loop. While count, you can count is equal to less than or equal to 5. This is my condition. Okay. So inside this while block, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the each and every element. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the incremental operator. Count equal to count plus equal to 1. So 1 by 1 I'm going to count. So this is the incremental operator. Now you can see the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as it is. Okay. So we can give the same thing using the range also. I will tell you how to use the same thing using the for loop, using the range also. Okay. The range, what is the syntax for the range? I need to give it. Okay. I need to give the start, stop, and a step. Okay. So we will use the same code for okay, for I is the variable which consists of each and every element, which will iterate the each and every element in the sequence of the range which we are going to do. Range. Okay. So within this range, I'm going to iterate from 0 to 5. Okay. I am not going to give any step. By default, it will take it as a 1. Okay. Print I. That's it. How simple it is. So the same thing which we have used in the while loop, the same thing I have used in the for loop using the range. Or if you want to do it with some sequence like this, and I want to declare it as a list and I want to iterate that particular list, then you can use it like this. So by default, it will increment 1 by 1. So if I want to increment it by 2, then you can give the step like this. You can see from 0 to 4, 6, 8. So there are two steps it got increased. Right? You can give it like this also. So far we have seen some simple for loop execution, while loop, and if loop executions. Right? Hope you guys understood this. Let me check with the time whether it exceeds 45 minutes. Otherwise, we will see the dictionary also, the iterations of the dictionary also. Karthik?
Yeah, ma'am.
45 minutes recording, or we can continue.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am. If you want, can wide up the session.
45 minutes ஆயிடுச்சா?
Ma'am, ஆயிடுச்சு ma'am. 45 minutes தாண்டி ஆயிடுச்சு.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, then we can stop the recording.
Okay.